So we are at PAX West 2017. We're at the Sega booth checking out Total War Warhammer. And who are we with today?
My name's Rich. I'm the lead designer for the new content team for Warhammer.
Awesome. So for longtime fans of Warhammer, what are some of the big things they have to look forward to in this new title?
Oh, in this one, we've got loads of cool features. You know, lots of dragons, lots of monsters, lots of big, crazy dinosaurs with the lizard men. You know, we've got a Bastillodon, which is shooting lasers out of it, and then some of our more personal favourites are the Skaven, which are like crazy rat scientists that tinker around with mad contraptions. We've got one called the Doom Wheel, and that's basically like a massive hamster wheel with scuttling rats going around inside it, shooting out lasers. It's a fun ride, and our campaign's new and cool and sweet. We've got the Vortex, which is like a big, powerful funneling machine of magic, which is just trying to stop chaos from invading the world. And all our four races, the High Elves, the Lizardmen, the Dark Elves, and the Skaven, are all trying to use it to their own devices. And we play that out with some new movies, which is something we've not really done in Total War before. You can even lose the campaign if you're not careful in this big climactic race to the end of the game. So there's lots of new and exciting things to play around with.
So you can go through various stages and invest all this time, and then you get to near the end of the campaign, and because you didn't do X or Y, it all like kind of the world still ends or something like that?
Kind of, but it's a race. It's a race against time. It's basically who's gonna crack this vortex and use it for whatever means that they deem necessary. And if that happens, if say you're playing as the High Elves and the dastardly, manipulative Dark Elves get in there first, you're gonna have to try and fight them in battle to stop them from siphoning this bad energy into the world. So you will get a couple of opportunities, so it's not like a headshot and you're done and dusted. We don't want that, but it does keep it going right to the very end and keeps it exciting.
Very cool. We were checking out another title, a smaller title obviously, that had some really interesting crowd mechanics, and I guess the question would be, when it comes to these large scale strategy war games where you have these units that are made up of these individual parts. Maybe tell us a little bit about the AI that kind of goes into that when you're designing these different groups. Like how, did you make any tweaks to these in this new Warhammer, or is the base sort of algorithms and logic for the various groups still the same as it was before?
So we took the core fundamentals that we've been building up over many years of Total War, but we had to absolutely change it up because we were introducing new systems which we'd never had in our previous titles. So bringing in magic and monsters was going to really rock the boat, so to speak. So we had to spend a lot of time making sure that not only does the AI react to these new toys, but they can also use them themselves. Because there's nothing worse than if you're playing as a player and you think, well, it's got the ability to cast this fireball or summon this vortex, and it's not doing it, or it's doing it on like a low rank unit when there was something more elite and you would prize that scout more. So that's the stuff that we have to focus on. But because we did that in Warhammer 1, it means that Warhammer 2's got an even stronger foundation, and it means now as designers we can tweak the systems a little bit more, and we can get more finesse involved. So we have gone back to the magic system and done exactly that. So you should see some improvements there, but you'll also see improvements on your side as well. So things like wind spells, where we devastate like a line through people, that can now be manipulated much easier. It's not a fixed trajectory. You can now spin that on the spot. The AI can do that too.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, because I know it could be very frustrating, like you were saying, if you're playing the AI and the AI is able to execute all these really cool things, but then when you're playing and you have the AI on your side, they aren't able to execute. So it sounds like you've done a good job of balancing those things out, which I love.
And same goes in the campaign as well. We spend so much time, going through all the data, looking at what the player's doing, but also what the AI is doing. How can we get competitive factions basically to play against you? Because you want it to become like an epic struggle where there's going to be someone opposing you, not just steamrolling little tiny cities and factions. And I've had that recently. I've had a great campaign playing against the High Elves where I've collided with the Dark Elves, tried to take on Malekith, and he's created this massive armada. He's got his he's got his fleet of ships coming to invade Ulthuan, and at the back of it he's got his mighty warship. So it's really cool. There's rituals as well, which are going to lead into the rites. The rituals are going to lead into the movies, and the rites are a separate system. So again, the factions can play those out, the humans and the AI, and you can summon like cool specific campaign models to it. So you can get like slans, which are magic casting lizard men. They're like giant toads which float around on these cool little platforms. They're really rare in the Warhammer lore, but they bring loads of power and magic abilities to lizard men. You've got the Black Arcs, which are these mighty warships, which Malekith and Marathi, the Dark Elves, can summon. They're a point in which you can build armies, you can construct buildings, because they're like a mighty floating city. And if you go into a battle and it's just offshore, it can actually do a devastating bombardment. So they pack a punch there too.
Was there anything, well, wrong way to start that question up. So coming from Total War now to Total War 2, I'm sure that there was a lot of fan feedback that you got going into this title that you wanted to incorporate. Is there anything that was left on the cutting floor, so to speak? Were there any maybe races or units or mechanics maybe that you tinkered with and thought about possibly implementing into this title, but then found that it didn't really work, or that maybe it needed some more polish before it got rolled out to a final product?
There are bits like that. I mean, you're right. We can't make every single character. We can't get every single unit in. We try desperately to get as much of that in as we can. So like for example, with Lord Scroll being one of the Skaven characters, we knew that if he was going to be a cool playable character, he had to have all the Clan Pestilence stuff behind him. So we made absolutely sure that we were going to get in, your plague monks, your censer bearers, your plague core catapult, all that cool stuff, which I think some people maybe thought we might scrimp on, but we wanted to make him feel super cool, give him a real specific army that he could use and really allow you to play out that role play feeling you'd have in the tabletop. So yeah, on the flip side, some other stuff has to drop, but as you know, we make a bunch of cool DLC and free DLC, so we'll look to try and expand the game over the course of time, and because we're in like a really unique situation where we have the 3 games, and we welcome everybody's feedback, whether it's good or bad. Recently we've just gone back and we've done a Foundation update, which improved a whole bunch of the original Lords from the first game, just to meet bring them up to scratch with some of the DLC Lords and units, and we're going to continue doing that. We're in a very advantageous place where they all connect together, these games. If you go out and you have Warhammer 1 and you go and buy Warhammer 2, in the very near future we're going to have a massive combined map. So we absolutely need to, make sure all these factions, all these characters are all aligning very well with one another, because you're going to be able to take the Greenskins over to Lustria and go and battle it out with the Lizardmen. You're going to be able to take High Elves to the Old World and go and visit their friends in, Athel Moren, or maybe they're not. It's going to be, one hell of a game and so many opportunities there.
Very cool. So when's the game coming out for those who aren't familiar?
So we're coming out on the 28th of September. Right. So we're only a few weeks away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Richard, for taking the time to chat with us today. Total War looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and have a great rest of your PAX.
Thank you very much.